Hello everyone, greetings from St. Petersburg. I am here near the, let me show you. This is St. Isaac's Cathedral. It is one of the premier tourist attractions here in Petersburg. That dome at the top is indeed plated with actual solid gold. In its time, I believe this was one of the largest Orthodox cathedrals in Eastern Europe. Again, it's St. Isaac's Cathedral. You can read about it on Wikipedia if you're curious. And I'm here in a nice little park that's just to the south of the cathedral, obviously. And there's some nice scenery to be seen around here. Over there in the, I believe that is actually the famous bronze Horseman statue. I could be wrong, I'm pretty sure that's what that is though. And you can see here in the park, there's almost nobody on the grass. Those people walking across are actually, they're not on the grass, they're actually on a footpath that bisects the grassy field. That's a common theme here in parks in Petersburg, actually, is people don't step on the grass. Even though I've been told that it's permitted, it's not forbidden by law or anything like that. It used to be in Soviet times, apparently it was against the law to walk on grass, like it was, you know, a misdemeanor to walk on grass in parks, and so people still sort of maintain the same practice today, even though it's no longer prohibited. Here's obviously a group of people who are presumably tourists. And as you can probably tell, there are quite a lot of pigeons around. There are pigeons all over the city, especially in tourist areas. That's, I guess, pretty common to large cities. It's certainly not something unique to Petersburg. So I've been here for close to a week now, and the weather has been like this almost every day. I actually was quite fortunate to come here in June. You can see there's literally not a cloud in the sky anywhere. I mean, it's just clear skies all around. And wow, it's a gorgeous day. It's warm but not too warm. It's probably something like 20 or a little bit above 20 Celsius, which is, what, I don't know, between 70 and 80 Fahrenheit, something like that. And I came during, so here in June they have the much talked about white nights of this area, which basically just means that the sun never goes down. Well, the sun goes down, like the sun will descend below the horizon, so you won't actually get direct sunlight, but it never dips low enough below the horizon that there's no daylight. So basically you have daylight 24 hours a day. Even at like 2 a.m. there is still perceptible daylight outside. I don't know, I don't. After the first couple of nights, it's really just a novelty. After the first couple of nights, the novelty wears off, and it's like, whoop-de-doo, it's, you know, okay, so it's still a little bit light outside. But people talk about it a lot as if it's a big deal. It's something unusual. I mean, it's nice. It's nice to be able to go out at night and still have daylight and, you know, have well-lit streets, even in places where there isn't good street lighting. But it's not really that, I don't know. Popular reactions to my coming here to Russia have been almost universal. Everybody asks me the same questions. Why did you come to Russia? Why did you leave a comfortable Western country for uncomfortable Russia? And I never quite understand this question because, I mean, I don't really see what's so uncomfortable about Russia. I mean, look at me. You know, I'm sitting here on a park bench in the middle of a beautiful sunny day, and I don't understand what's supposed to be so uncomfortable about this, but people, there's an interesting sort of, I don't know, popular mentality among Russian people that Russia is just this terrible place and people here are still oppressed even though it's more than 20 years after Perestroika. And it's kind of odd because life here doesn't really seem that bad to me. I think it's just sort of this popular mentality that's been ingrained into Russian people that their society is terrible and life here sucks. I don't really perceive it that way at all. I mean, I was here last year, and obviously I don't perceive it that way, or I wouldn't have come back. But yeah, I very much like it here in the city. This is actually, I think this is probably my favorite place that I've ever been to in my life. And I haven't traveled around that much. I mean, I haven't seen that much of the world. I grew up in Toronto, Canada. been to most of the major places in California, from Sacramento to San Diego and everything in between, pretty much. Been to Finland. Haven't been to any other European countries, but I think this is my favorite place out of any place that I've ever been. And I mean, the reasons why are kind of complicated. I guess, like I said, I might try to elaborate on that as time goes by. But I mean, this cathedral behind me sort of gives an example. I mean, obviously the architecture is impressive. And I was never much of a person for architecture, honestly. I mean, I never really cared too much about what buildings look like. I mean, to me, I thought, whoop-de-doo, a building is a place for people to go in and either to live or shop or work, whatever they do there, but it's not, you know, so the architecture looks nice, big deal, who cares? And I wouldn't say even now that I'm a huge architectural enthusiast, but to me it's not so much the architecture itself as what it stands for. Like, you can't see it. Can't really see it right here. There aren't any buildings within sight here that are like that, but there are lots of buildings around here that are under construction, and what they do when they renovate buildings is they don't just tear them down and rebuild them. They basically preserve the exterior of the building and work on the building from inside. So basically, they'll tear down everything that's inside the building and leave the exterior four walls, you know, still standing. And so a lot of these buildings, you can probably tell, I don't know, a lot of these buildings here look pretty new, but if you walk around the city, I don't even know how old these buildings are. They might just be well maintained, but some of the buildings, I mean, if you walk around the city, you can see some buildings that are clearly very old, like at least a few hundred years old, and they are. I mean, obviously, you know, they are old buildings, and they, you know, they preserve them, and that's, to me, that says a lot, that there's this sort of respect for history that you don't necessarily get in most North American cities. I mean, of course, there are old buildings. You know, you go to New York or San Francisco or Toronto or cities like that, and yeah, there are old buildings there that have been preserved, but it's not like here. There's a greater emphasis on efficiency and economic feasibility of construction projects. Over here, enormous amounts of time and money are wasted on construction projects that could easily take half the time, probably even less, if they just tore down the whole building and started building, you know, new structure from scratch. But they don't do that here. They try to, as much as they can, they seem to really want to preserve their history. And that's kind of important to me, because I kind of feel like in our modern society we are very quick to throw things away, and that's all kinds of things, not only you know, not only just common trash, like, you know, we'll throw away packaging for food or whatever instead of trying to recycle it, but I mean, that's, you know, at one level. But then at a much larger level, we're very quick to throw away whole buildings and whole structures, and that's time efficient in the sense that it takes less time to just tear down a whole building and rebuild something new rather than rework an old, you know, a 300-year-old building. But there's something that's lost there. There's something that gets lost there that's perhaps more valuable than time. That's how I feel, at least. And that's one of the things that I like about this city. And I think it's true of Europe in general. Like I said, I haven't traveled that much around Europe. I should. I know I should. I intend to when I have time and money to do so. But at least this is, you know, St. Petersburg is a relatively European city. It's kind of, it calls itself the cultural capital of Russia, and that's probably largely true. It sort of straddles that line between Europe and Russia, because a lot of Russia is not really distinctly European. It's more something else. But St. Petersburg is right on that line. I mean, it's, I don't know how far it is. It's probably less than 100 kilometers from the border with Finland. I mean, there's a train that comes here to Petersburg from Helsinki, and the train takes about 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours, something like that. So it's a pretty quick train. So I mean, the distance is not that far. So that we're pretty close. I'm pretty close to Europe here, even if you wouldn't consider Russia normally to be a European city. Although then I don't know what it is. I mean, it's not any country. I don't know what it would be then, though. I mean, I don't think you could rightly say that this is an Asian country. I mean, this certainly isn't. I mean, much of Russia would probably be categorized as Asia, but I guess you could say this is European Russia. Anyway, so that's one of the things that I like here. And as far as life being uncomfortable, I mean, I don't really see why. A lot of people told me that you can't buy things as readily, that, you know, things like food are harder to buy, they're more expensive, but they really aren't. I mean, you go to a market and you can get breakfast cereals, you can get coffee and sugar and milk and tea, and you can get various types of meats, all kinds of fruits and vegetables. You can get soap, you can get clothes. I mean, all those things are readily available. It's not like they're hard to come by. It's not like they're a scarce resource, and it's not like they're priced any differently than they are in you know, the United States or Canada. So I don't really understand what's supposed to be so uncomfortable or so difficult about life here. I wonder if it's just sort of a popular stereotype that people sort of propagate because, in all likelihood, a majority of Americans will never come here, and vice versa, a majority of Russians will never go to the United States. So, I don't know. People say that some people say that life isn't really that much different, that, you know, wherever you go, people are people, places are places, and the places that they go, the things that they do, the things they say, the things they think about aren't really that different wherever you go. There's probably a certain truth to that. Obviously some things are different here, but maybe not as vastly different as some people might think. Anyway, so yeah, here in St. Petersburg, liking it very much. I will try to put up more videos of the city in the future with various other vlogs and things like that. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, thanks for watching, everyone, and greetings from maybe Europe, maybe Asia, maybe both, maybe neither, I don't know. Take care, everyone. I will talk to you folks later. Bye-bye for now.